Okay, I've put some weights from my weightlifting set into the back of the hovercraft. That will equal the weight of the engine. I've put 35 pounds of weight right behind Cindy, which would equal the weight of a fuel tank full of fuel. And we're going to see if this thing will lift. Well, that's disappointing. Okay, we're going to try it with just me on it this time.
All the air goes to the back.
Yep.
How many air holes are in the front?
It's got a bunch of air holes around the front. It's just not,
It's not.
the engine just weighs too much.
Yeah, it's heavy in it.
I don't know if that 12 horsepower, I might try to put it on and see if it does
How much
anything.
weight difference is it?
About 9 pounds. I don't think 9 pounds is going to make that much
I
difference.
don't think so either.
Yeah.
At least
Okay.
you know.
Well, at least we know. Okay, so here's what we got going on and what we've tested so far. And of course we still haven't got it running. Okay, we took this small power supply here and it's 12 volt, and we tested the injector nozzles. They are operating, you know, by jumping the terminals. So the injectors are spraying, you know, opening and closing like they should. At first we weren't getting any power to the injectors. Now I don't know if you're supposed to have power to the injectors full time, because I know the Motronic unit makes and breaks the contact of the earth, you know, the ground. So what I did to test that is I bypassed the unit and just ran a hot wire straight to my terminal block here. You can see it going right in there, so that it was, you know, so the solenoid stayed hot as soon as you turn the ignition on, since the electronic ignition, you know, makes and breaks the ground part of, you know, earth or ground as they call it. So I tried that and it still didn't work. So the only thing I'm coming up with is either the lines going back in, which wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, going back to the Motronic unit, either I've got a break in there somewhere from the lines that go back to the earth to the unit, or I still have an issue with the Hall effect sensor. That, or I might even have the fuel lines reversed. I don't think so though, because everything seems to check out. My fuel pump is operating right. I can, people ask me if the fuel pump's operating. So here with the test light, I can demonstrate that for you real quick. Let me walk around and set the camera on the tripod, and you'll be able to see the test light working. So, as you know, okay, when you first turn on the switch, the fuel pump runs for a few seconds at first and cuts off. Okay, as you see, it ran, it cut off. When you go to start it, you can see the fuel pump's activating. So it's not a fuel pump issue. So that's what's got me trying to figure out what's going on, because from what I understand, the fuel pump and the fuel injection, are all fired off the Hall effect sensor. So it's not making sense that I'm getting power to the fuel pump right, but the injectors aren't firing. So I'm just kind of baffled why that's happening, because I can put starter fluid in it, and see if I spray starter fluid in it. You'll see that it'll fire up and burn off the starter fluid. It just won't run. Well, it's trying. Well, heck, she started. Okay. Don't know. Must have figured something out. Okay, so the engine's been sitting for a little while now. I'm going to see if it'll restart. If it restarts this time, I'm going to call it good until I get some fresh fuel for it. Yeah. Well, I got tied up mowing the yard today, but I did start doing something with the lathe that I'd planned to do. This is the original belt guide that was on the drive pulley on the engine that was on my Hoverstar. As you can see, it's rusted up and pitted and ugly looking. So here's going to be the new one I've started working on. I got to change the chuck and put the outer chucks on so I can grab it around the outside edges and then bore the center hole. But this actually started out as a square, and I turned it down round and I've cut the taper into it. As you can see on both sides, it's got a nice little tight taper, and that should guide the belt nicely and even be lighter weight and don't have to worry about it rusting. So that's going to even look nicer. So that's what I've gotten done today. I haven't really done anything to the Hoverstar because the shop was pretty much a mess from working on all the solar power stuff. So anyway, you can see that's going to be the new belt guide. I'm actually going to make two of them, one for each side of the drive pulley. So that's the first one. Okay, well, we have reached another milestone. We now have our drive pulley officially bolted on to our engine drive shaft. Next will be to make brackets to come down and hold the bearing steady on the engine mounts and finish up making the engine mounts. But that's some progress. We got the drive pulley mounted now. All right. Needless to say, I got to put the zip ties back around the bottom. Stick that back under there so it looks better. But there's what we got so far. And the engine is now officially bolted down on the rubber mounts. See if I can. There's our rubber mounts. Now, of course, the belt's not centered on the pulleys or anything like that, but and they're not tightened yet. I can adjust the engine mount down, but it's sitting in place. The BMW is officially sitting in place on its own engine mounts. What I'll do tomorrow is I'll cut the top of those bolts off shorter. That'll make it even easier to drop in place, because I had to kind of wiggle it around to get it lined up. Probably also what I'll do is bore a bigger hole in the top mount so it'll be easier to drop in place. But yeah, Sadly, my paint's getting scratched up a little bit in there, but that's, that'll happen. What can you do? So, anyway, I think I'm at the point of figuring out the rest of the systems, like my fuel tank and electrical system. And of course I'll have to rig up an exhaust, but I got my cross brace on here now. I haven't got it tightened down yet, but I've got good, looks like I've got good tip clearance of my fan. So everything should work okay with that. So that's what we got going on so far. So anyway, it's getting there. Every day we're getting a little closer. We'll keep you posted. This is Merlin. I'm out.